Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for being here. Thank you for standing up for conservative causes. That's what we're trying to do in Washington, but we need your help. I'm going to try, I've listened to a lot of the speeches backstage, and back when I was Speaker of the House in North Carolina, I used to tell my members, if it's already been said, don't say it again. But I will tell you, Senator Perdue, the congressman from Texas, everybody else who came before you have laid out what we need to do and why we need to keep majorities in the U.S. Senate and the House of Representatives. I want to talk a little bit about the election. I want to talk a little bit about the situation that we're in now. I want to start with probably the thing I've enjoyed most about being a U.S. Senator over the last year. I have literally traveled around the globe. I've been to Baghdad, I've been to the Kurdish region in Iraq, I've been to Afghanistan, a forward operating base outside of Kabul, in Kabul. I've been in Indonesia, I've been all over the world. I had somebody ask me, what's the furthest distance you've traveled from the United States since you've been a U.S. Senator? I said, the White House. I have not seen a president take this country in a direction that's so far afield of where the American people want to go. Pick a subject. Regulation, taxes, states' rights, property rights, pick a subject. It doesn't bear any resemblance to the America I grew up in. I'm a Reagan Republican. I registered in 1978 as a Republican. I got to see a turnaround from principled conservative leadership in the White House. I saw this nation go from the depths that it is today, with Iran doing whatever it wants to, Russia going wherever they want to, an energy crisis. Are we not living 1978 again? With the right sort of leadership and the right sort of outcome in an election, we turn things around very quickly. And the American people embrace conservative principles. That's what this year is about. Now, I will tell you that I'm also a member of the Judiciary Committee. Y'all may have heard that we have a Supreme Court nomination opening. I happen to be one of the senators who signed on to the letter to tell this president that we're not going to nominate a Supreme Court justice until the people have spoken. Now, just today, I was on the Senate floor, and I had Senator Schumer and Senator Leahy talking about how we're not doing our job. We're absolutely doing our job. They were talking about how we have a constitutional obligation to advise and consent. I said, we've done that. He said, what do you mean? I said, we've advised the president that we're not going to consent to one of his nominees. We're going to let the American people speak. So we're going to move forward, and we're going to do everything that we can to make as much progress as we can this year. But we need to make sure that we're focusing on the White House, and we're focusing on majorities in the Senate and in the House. And ladies and gentlemen, if people don't realize now how important it was for us to win in 2014, we now know. Can you imagine what we'd be thinking about right now? We'd be thinking about another Ginsburg nominee on the Supreme Court. That's what we'd be talking about, and we'd be helpless to do anything about it. But because we have 54 members in the U.S. Senate, we're in the position to determine the makeup of the Supreme Court that will likely be there for another 20 years. And we're going to do everything we can to make sure that that's a conservative judge who respects the Constitution. It's not a living document. The Founding Fathers got it right. We need to interpret it that way and protect and preserve the Constitution as it was originally envisioned. And it's worked pretty well for us for a couple of hundred years. Now, I want to talk in my last minute and so seconds about what we have before us. It's the election. I want you all to help me influence the narrative that we see in the media. I've had people come up to me over the past couple of days, well, the Republican Party is in disarray. They're all broken apart. They're not going to come back together. That is hogwash. The Republican Party is alive and well. The reason I love this party is because we're so independent and we're so principled. We're doing everything we can to get different candidates elected. I've endorsed Marco Rubio. I have friends who have endorsed Donald Trump and Ted Cruz. Treat this like the competition that actually puts the person, the athlete that we have to bring to the White House. You can put on your jerseys now, fight a good fight. I love football. I like a good football game. Go Panthers. But then, when the primary is over and we have a nominee, does anyone here think that any candidate on their worst day isn't eons better than Hillary Clinton on her best day? So, make sure you work with me. Make sure you hold us all accountable. Keep us grounded in conservative ideals and conservative agendas. They work. They've worked in North Carolina. We've turned the state around in 5 years. We're going to turn this country around. It's within our reach. We win this election, you come back here next year and you hold us accountable to producing conservative agenda that gets this country back on track. And for many of you here who weren't born in the 1980s, trust me when I say it can be done in a handful of years. Not decades. This isn't a generational thing. We can fix this country in no time with the right sort of leadership in the White House and the resolve in the U.S. Congress. I'm going to be one of those people. I know my colleagues in Congress share my view and my optimism, and with your help, we'll get it done. Thank you all, and God bless you.